Totembi!
Maywa said, trying to help him up.
Come on, let's go.
You go.
Totembi squeezed out through a ragged breath.
I'll hold them off, so you can escape.
No! Keep pushing, Totembi!
The god coughed while trying to control his breathing. His lungs burned with the fires of exhaustion.
I think I've pushed all I can.
The black cat said, disheartened.
You go.
We don't have time for this.
The white cat responded.
Let's go.
We're not both going to make it. Those spirits are too powerful. We may only have a few seconds before they find us. Here.
He pulled his head from the bag strap and left it to his younger sister.
Take the book and hide it away. We can't let the Abyss get their hands on it.
Maywa made a move to protest, but Totembi stopped her. The goddess stuck her head through the strap and slung the bag over her shoulder, taking up the weight of the black grimoire. The two cats held their head together in a solemn goodbye.
I swear to you I'll see you again.
Maywa said, choking back tears.
Oh, my brother. And you always will be.
I know.
With a great emotional effort, Maywa pulled her head from her brother's and ran off into the ethereal forests. No sooner had she disappeared from his sight than the black spirits were upon him. They didn't attack him, but simply surrounded him, forming a barrier he dared not pass through. Totembi heard the sound of large wings flapping and perked up his ears. The god of peace glided down and landed with a thud that sent shivers through the ground.
Totembi,
came the god's voice from behind him. The black cat bore his claws and spun to face the white-winged wolf. Despite not being as strong or as big as his brother, the god of knowledge was still a good strategist. He could probably hold his own against him for a short time before he was taken down. But if the abyssal spirits that circled him were to get involved, that would be another matter entirely.
retract your claws, Totembi.
The white wolf ordered. His voice was filled with a presence that demanded obedience. Totembi couldn't help as his claws slid themselves back into his paws and remained sheathed. Though he had no way of escaping the demand, he remained composed and alert, ready for an attack. The first two ethereals stood staring at each other for some time, neither brother willing to speak up first. Now they had become enemies, both filled with painful rage that split their hearts.
If you're going to kill me, just get on with it.
Totembi broke the silence.
This is rather boring.
Never were one for patience, were you, Totembi?
Responded his brother as he began pacing outside the circle of demons.
This is not an execution, as you so bluntly put it. You deserve much, much worse.
How do I deserve this?
Totembi demanded.
I had nothing to do with what happened.
All you have told are lies!
Guwagi shouted, his voice sending ripples through Totembi's soul.
You brought along the destruction of Futa by reading from the forbidden book of knowledge and sharing its deceit.
You mean its truths? It knew what you would bring and it was right.
Silence!
This time the god's voice boomed across their ethereal plane, again commanding Totembi to be quiet against his will. The gods again stood, facing each other in the painful silence. A look of dismay crossed the wolf's face.
It is over now, Totembi. It is over. The book can do no more harm if it is destroyed. So where is it?
Gone.
Totembi replied, his face as cold as stone. Except he had flashed a quick glance in the direction Maywa had run away. This slip-up was all Guwagi needed. He nodded to the abyssal spirits and one broke away, rushing in the direction of their sister.
No!
Totembi exclaimed. He jumped after the shape before being restrained by the black spirits. They clung to him like a blanket of oil and stuck him to the ground. He felt heavy, as if he had a world on his back. His brother sighed before closing his eyes and turned his face to the heavens.
1. Hear this decree so that all may know the treacherous ways of Totembe, god of knowledge. Grant me the strength to do what must be done.
When Totembe heard the decree laid down by Gawagi, he quivered with mixed emotions of fear, sadness, and disbelief.
You dare involve the world spirit?
He asked, his voice shaking.
It has better worlds to attend to than our petty flawed world.
Totembe was cut off by the sound of the world literally splitting apart, like two metal edges dragging across themselves. It shook his teeth and rattled his organs. He couldn't move as he felt a massive presence enter the world of Abosia. His thought process froze, and he could see the same effects happening to Gawagi. Time and space warped in the awesome presence of the voidal spirits. The abyssal creatures squirmed in discomfort, strategically coating Totembe's entire body and hiding him from the sight of the two dragons. The god knew what they were doing, and couldn't do anything about it.
This is the being you wish to banish?
One boomed, referring to the mass of abyssal spirits, not noticing Totembe smothered underneath.
We grant you third power, you see.
The dark tide hissed.
Rid your world of this filth.
One, and the dark tide withdrew from the world, and the massive weight was released with their leave. Totembe lay on the ground in utter defeat. The abyss had won.
I banish you!
The ground under Totembe opened up, and he saw through the rift to the mortal world of Abosia, many, many miles below.
You will be trapped into the mortal world, powerless, memoryless, and nameless, doomed to be reborn, die, and forget for the rest of eternity.
Despite seeing what his brother had become, he was still shocked, and his heart quivered with heavy sadness and hurt.
It's not your authority
He took a deep breath in to keep in tears.
to decree such a thing.
The ground began to tremble. Violently it shook, and Gawagi lifted off with his wings. The last thing Totembe saw was his brother, hovering aloft on his wings, with a black spirit swirling around him.
He's just dead.
The abyssal spirits whispered in his mind. Totembe was swallowed by the ground, his physical body torn apart and dispersed by the spiritual barrier, and his soul tumbled into the mortal realm. His ethereal stone of knowledge fell through the barrier with him, before it was ripped from his control and fell to Abosia. His memories ripped from his mind, leaving nothing but empty space to be filled and emptied over and over again for the rest of eternity.
My sister used to be simply missing. I'm starting to think she might as well be gone.
Ever since he got the AI-powered machinery, his mental health has been steadily on the decline.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Icarus, what's he talking about?
Who's in charge? I'm in charge.
Shut up!
I just feel like I've been here before, but I know I haven't.
Solar, what is the meaning of this?
I know we both don't want another war.